Welcome back, Iron Warriors. This is part 2 of chapter 15. Let's quickly recap what we've seen and start with the remaining sections to close the chapter on whether stretching weakens us before training. Here are the sections we will cover now. Section 6. Practical protocol, exact format for your logbook, steps to follow, variables to note, and how to measure results. Section 7. Protocol for home. Practical version for bands and dumbbells, recommended times and repetitions. Section 8. When to use it correctly. Indicators to know if it applies in your case or if you should avoid it. Section 9. How to structure it. Routine and sequence to achieve optimal activation without losing strength. Section 10. Conclusion and practical takeaways. Summary, recommendations, and an action plan for the next 4 weeks. Now we briefly recap the previous content and start right away with Section 6. The practical protocol you will copy into your logbook. Let's get to work. Section 6. Practical protocol in the GYM expanded and ready-to-use version goal. To reach the set that counts at maximum capacity, neuromuscular tension and intact technique, without stealing power or accumulating fatigue prematurely. Step summary, what you do now in your session. Mobility and general warm-up to 4 min. Specific activation. 1 to 3 minute progressive warm-up sets, workup sets, 2 to 6 minute effective set. 1 set to technical failure, record everything. Suggested total workup time. 6 to 12 minutes will vary with experience and technical need. Step 1. Mobility/raising temperature 2 to 4 minutes. What to do? 2 to 4 minutes of continuous movement. Easy bike, light jog, easy rowing or short jumps. Add dynamic joint mobility, shoulder circles, leg swings, hip rotations, 30 to 60 s per key joint. Why? Raises local temperature, improves viscosity without passively tensing the muscle or altering reflexes. Avoid long static stretches here. Practical cues, breathe deeply and move with control. Stop if there is sharp pain. Step 2. Specific activation 1-3 min. What to do? 1 to 2 low-load exercises to switch on the pattern. 6 to 10 controlled reps. Press chest gives face pulls with band or light press for 8 to 10 reps. Squat leg press gives glute bridges. Bodyweight squats. Row back gives band rows or very light pull-downs. Y reactivates muscular excitability, improves mind-muscle connection, reduces risk of not starting the set well. Practical cues. Focus on feeling the muscle work, not on moving weight. Maintain 2 to 3 s eccentric, 1 s concentric, if you want to get used to the cadence. Step 3. Progressive warm-up sets, workup sets, key format and example gym with bar, machine warm-up 1. Approximately 40 to 50% of target weight times 6 to 8 reps, 60 to 90 s rest. Warm-up 2. Approximately 70 to 75% times 3 to 5 reps, 90 to 120 s rest. Optional warm-up 3. Approximately 85% times 1 to 2 reps if you need technical confidence or use very heavy loads, 120 to 180 s rest. Important rules: never go to failure in these warm-ups. Stop before you feel real struggle. The goal is activation and technical pattern, not fatigue. If you do 3 warm-up sets and the last one is already difficult, reduce the intensity for the next block or add more rest. If you train with bands or dumbbells at home, estimate 40 to 50%. As a perceptible but easy version, more repetitions than in your working set. Warm-up 2. Increase tension or wait until you feel technical control, not fatigue. Practical cues: breathe controlled, exhale on effort concentric, inhale on eccentric. Maintain the usual cadence you will use in the effective set, so the system adapts to the tempo. Step 4. Effective set. What to do? 1 set 2 technical failure or target RPE. Maintain the cadence and toot you are recording in your logbook. Record immediately. Weight reps, toot RPE, and a brief note on technique dorms Y. This is where you apply maximum tension. The entire workup prepares you to perform at 100% in this set. Practical cues. Last repetition. Make a clear decision. Don't fight for bad reps. If using a spotter, ask for just enough and safe assistance. Don't cheat reps. Adjustments based on level per conditions. Beginner, use more gentle warm-up sets. If technique is unstable, for example, 3 soft progressive warm-ups. Keep longer rests between warm-ups if breathing or technique fails. Intermediate advanced, you can slightly reduce mobility duration if technique is stable. Maintain load progression. Optional warm-up 3, 85% only if your logbook indicates it helps confidence without increasing fatigue. Injuries or joint stiffness, prioritize dynamic mobility plus activation. If ROM is still limited, work on mobility in separate sessions and avoid static stretching right before intense work. If there is pain, consult a professional before forcing ROM. What to do if you already stretch before starting the workup? Do 1 to 2 minutes of dynamic mobility. Do specific activation for 2 sets of 8 reps. Perform the progressive warm-up sets, 40% gives 70%. If after this you still feel switched off, wait 3 to 5 minutes and repeat the 70% warm-up once more before your set. Signs your workup was correct: the first repetition of the set feels powerful and consistent with your baseline. RPE is in line with your records. not 2 points higher for no reason. Reps tut are similar or superior to previous sessions with the same load. Signs of error indicates prior fatigue. You lose 1 to 2 reps compared to your baseline without changes in technique. RPE increases by +2 with the same load. Feeling of not pushing on the first repetition. Mini printable checklist to stick in your logbook before the set. Mobility 2 to 4 minutes yes, no. Activation 1 to 3 minute exercise and reps. Warm up 140 to 50% times 6 to 8. Done. Yes, no. Warm up to 70 to 75% times 3 to 5. Done. Yes, no. Warm up 3 optional. 85% times 1 to 2. Use only if necessary. Yes, no. Effective set. Wait _reps tut RPE _final takeaway before your effective set. 2 minutes of mobility. 1 to 2 activation exercises. 2 progressive warm-up sets, 40 to 50% times 6 to 8, 70 to 75% times 3 to 5, and then the set that counts. Avoid long passive stretches. Save fatigue for the set, not for the warm-up. Section 7 Practical Protocol at Home Bands Dumbbells. Below is the expanded, clear, and ready-to-use version for any home with minimal equipment: bands, dumbbells, kettlebells, or bodyweight. It includes step-by-step instructions, why it works, variations by level, examples, push-pull legs, how to progress, and what to record in your logbook. Do not perform passive stretching right before the set. Use dynamic mobility and activation. Quick summary: what you do. 2 minutes of light activity, gentle jumps, jogging in place. Activation. 1 set of 8 to 12 reps with a band for the movement pattern. Warm-up sets. Approximately 50% times 8, 75% times 3 or perceptual equivalent. Effective set. 1 set to technical failure. Total workup time. 6 to 10 minutes. Step 1. General warm-up 2 minutes. What to do. Gentle jumps, dynamic marching in place, light jump rope, or jogging for 90 to 120 s. Why? Raises body temperature, blood flow, and prepares joints without passive stretching. Tip: if you have very low ceilings, do modified jumping jacks or vigorous marching. Step 2. Specific activation, 1 to 3 minutes. What to do. Choose one exercise with a band or dumbbells that replicates the pattern you will train. 1 set of 8 to 12 reps at low-moderate intensity. Press chest, band chest press or light dumbbell press. Row back, band rows or light dumbbell row. Leg squat, leg press, band squats or bodyweight squats. Glute bridges. Why switches on. The pattern improves neuromuscular connection and reduces the risk of not starting the effective set well. Cues. Focus on feeling the target muscle. Controlled movements 2 to 3 s eccentric, 1 s concentric. Step 3. Progressive warm-up sets. Work-up home adaptation. At home you can't always calculate exactly 50%. 75% of a 1 Malaysian ringgits use perception and relative load. Suggested format. Warm-up 150% perceptual, easy version of the movement, times 8 reps. Example, band press with low tension, body weight squat plus light band. Warm-up to 75% perceptual, increase tension or add weight times 3 to 5 reps. Example, increase band tension, add a dumbbell, or reduce assistance if doing assisted squats. Optional warm-up 3, if you need technical confidence, 1 to 2 reps with near working tension. Rules: do not go to failure in the warm-up sets. Rest 60 to 120 s between warm-ups to recover power. Step 4. Effective set at home. Execute 1 set to technical failure with the load, tension that allows you to reach failure in the target range according to your goal. Strength 4 to 6 reps, hypertrophy 6 to 12 reps, etc. Maintain the planned cadence, for example, 3s eccentric over 1s concentric, and record. Load tension reps approximate tut RPE. How to estimate 50%, 75% at home. Examples: bands use different bands resistances or vary the length. 50% equals band with low tension. 75% equals tighter band or 1 less wrap around the anchor. Dumbbells. 50% equals weight with which you could do 12 to 15 comfortable reps. 75% equals weight with which you would do 6 to 8 reps but not fail. Bodyweight. 50% equals assisted version bench support, assistance band. 75% equals standard version. 100% equals more difficult version, for example, pistols, elevated push-ups. Variations and solutions: if you can't safely reach failure, increase tut, lengthen the eccentric. 4 to 5 s to increase tension without adding weight. Reduce concentric pause. Maintaining constant tension increases difficulty. Use light rest pause after failure, 10 to 15 s rest, and add 1 to 3 controlled reps. Use with caution. Split the body weight leverage. Modify leverage, for example. Do push-ups with hands lower for more difficulty. Complete examples: sample home sessions, push chest, triceps, shoulder. Example: 2-minute jogging in place. Activation: band pull-aparts or light band chest press times 10. Warm-up 1. Easy band chest press times 8. Warm-up 2. Moderate dumbbell press times 3 to 5. Effective set, dumbbell press, band press to technical failure, 6-1-2 rep target. Optional accessory, not to failure. Assisted dips 1x8 or band triceps extension 110. Pullback biceps 2 min light jump rope. Activation light band rows x10 warm-up 1 short band row. Low tension x8 warm-up 2 heavier dumbbell row x3 to 5. Effective set row 2 technical failure, 6-1-2 reps. Optional accessory band curls 110 not to failure. Legs leg press squat posterior chain 2-minute jumping in place. Activation glute bridges 12 reps. Warm-up 1 bodyweight squat with light band x8. Warm-up 2 medium goblet squat with dumbbell x3 to 5. Effective set goblet or split squat 2 technical failure, 8-1-2 reps. Optional band hamstring curl 110 not to failure. Progression and how to know you're advancing. N=1. Micro progression. When you achieve +1 rep in the effective set for 2 sessions in a row, gives increased load tension, for example, +1 to 2 kilograms or a stronger band. If there is no increase in 4 to 6 weeks and is greater than or equal to 2 key lifts. Review sleep, calories, technique. Do not add volume without measuring. Record. Always note load, tension reps, TUT, RPE, and notes comfort pain. DOMS. Integrating mobility/flexibility without harming strength. Do not perform static stretching right before the set. Stretch after training 30 to 60 s per position, 2 to 3 repetitions, or in separate mobility sessions 20 to 30 minutes. If you have a limitation that prevents safe technique, prioritize dynamic mobility and ROM sessions on different days. Use static stretches only if you then do activation and a workup before attempting strength work. Safety and practical considerations. If you feel sharp pain, stop and reassess. Do not force ROM. If you train alone for maximum strength, prioritize exercises you can execute with good control. Avoid high-risk maneuvers without a spotter. If you use rest pause or advanced techniques at home, do it on safe equipment or with assistance and record the impact on recovery. Mini printable checklist to put in your logbook before the set. Tick 2-minute light cardio. Activation 1-8 to 12 type _warm-up 150% perceptual x8 warm-up to 75% perceptual x3 effective set. Load tension _reps RPE what to do if you can't reach failure safely. Aim for TUT saturation. Slow down each repetition. Add a partial set to near failure with controlled forced reps, for example. Slow eccentric cutoff. Use an isometric pause at the end of the ROM to increase stimulus. Recommended record. Quick line for your logbook. Date exercise equipment band. Dumbbell perk. Tension warm 1%, warm 2%. Work reps approx TUT RPE notes. Example. The 1st of September 2025 push press medium band 50/75 839/40s RPE 10 shoulder. OK. Section 8. When should you use stretching? Stretching does have its place, but not right before your effective set. Here I explain why, when, and how to integrate it without harming performance, with concrete protocols post-workout, dedicated sessions, and chronic programs, examples by area metrics to track your progress, and practical precautions. Use static stretching after training or in specific mobility sessions. A chronic program improves ROM without harming performance if not done right before maximum lifting. 1. Why you should use stretching. Real benefits. Progressive improvement of range of motion ROM, when applied consistently over weeks, aids subjective recovery, feeling of muscular smoothness, relaxation, and breathing control if done post-workout. Allows correction of ROM limitations that prevent safe technique, as long as you don't do it right before the set. In well-dosed chronic programs, it can improve posture and reduce the risk of compensations. 2-3 times formats when you should stretch and why each works. A. After training, post-workout. The most direct use. What it is. 5 to 15 minutes of static stretching focused on the worked groups. Why it works. The musculature is warm and receptive. You are not seeking performance, you are seeking recovery. ROM. Recommended protocol. 2 to 3 stretches per group. For example, quads and hip flexors after legs. 30 to 60 s per stretch. 1 to 3 repetitions per position. Total 5 to 15 minutes. Example, after legs. 60 s quad stretch. 60 s quad stretch. 60 s glute hip rotation stretch. Precaution. If the goal is maximum strength in a subsequent session, for example, testing strength, avoid heavy stretching sessions after. Use it at the end for recovery. Be dedicated mobility/flexibility sessions separate days. The most powerful use. What it is. 20 to 30 minute focused exclusively on ROM, motor control, and mobility technique. Why it works. Allows you to increase ROM in a structured way without interfering with intense strength sessions. Suggested structure. Activation and dynamic mobility 5 to 8 minute. Static stretches 10 to 15 minute 30 to 60 s per point. Control and strength work in the new ROM isometrics. Controlled eccentrics 5 to 10 minute. Example calendar. Heavy duty. If you train with HD every 7 to 10 days per muscle group, place 1 to 2 mobility sessions between the intense sessions. For example, day 3 and day 5 after the intense session. Benefit improves ROM without sacrificing performance in your intense sets. See chronic stretching program 1020 MIN daily or almost daily if you seek real flexibility. What it is. Brief daily sessions of 10 to 20 minutes, focused on limiting factors, why it works. Consistency creates connective tissue adaptations and neuromuscular tolerance to new ranges. Protocol: 3 to 5 key stretches, 30 to 60 s each, 1 to 2 rounds. Expected results: improvements in ROM in 4 to 8 weeks if you are consistent. Note: keep measuring performance. If you train for maximum strength in the same session, do these routines at another time of day, for example, at night. 3 concrete examples of stretches post-workout or dedicated session: pectoral chest, doorway stretch or corner stretch 30 to 60 s, hamstrings, seated or standing stretch with torso forward 30 to 60 s, quads, hip flexor, supported lunge or side-lying stretch 30 to 60 s, glutes piriformis figure 4 on the floor 30 to 60 s, adductors leg opening with straight torso 30 to 60 s, calves, calf stretch supported against a wall 30 to 60 s, lats back, controlled hang or band assisted stretch 30 to 60 s, anterior shoulder crossbody stretch or wall stretch 30 to 60 s. Breathing cues: breathe slowly in cues, breathe slowly, sleeth, slossy slowly, sleeth, sloth, sleeve, wreath, slew, breathe, leave, wreath, with for with slilix of support, words, with it, as to appel, to so, will up, work with a work, without work with it, also exhale and relax into the position. Do not bounce. Seek tolerance, not sharp pain. For optimal integration with heavy-duty example calendar. Heavy-duty usually leaves 4 to 10 days between intense sessions per group. Here is a practical example. Day 0 intense HD session. Effective set. Heavy work gives post-workout 5 to 10 minutes of specific stretches. Day 1 to 2. Active rest, walking, light mobility. Day 3, mobility session 20 to 30 minutes focused on weak points. Day 5, light mobility session 10 to 15 min or technical work. Day 7 to 10, next HD session according to readiness. This way you improve ROM without touching the window where stretching could harm performance. 5 ready-to-use protocols. A brief post-workout 510 MIN. Example: 4 legs 60s quad stretch each leg, 60s hamstring stretch each leg, 60s glute piriformis stretch each side. Total approximately equals 6 minutes. B mobility session 2030 MIN. Separate day 5 to 8 minute dynamic mobility. Hip circles, leg swings, thoracic rotations. 12 to 15 minute static stretches, 6 to 8 positions, 60 s each. 5 to 7 minute control and strength work in ROM isometrics, eccentric control. See chronic nightly program 1015 MIN. Daily 3 to 5 key stretches, for example, pectoral, hip flexor, hamstrings, times 30 to 60 s. Controlled breathing and relaxation. Ideal for improving ROM and promoting sleep. 6 measuring progress n equals 1. How to know if it's working for you. Simple tests every 2 to 4 weeks. Squat depth, knee angle, Thomas test hip flexor, shoulder flexion, wall slide shoulder mobility, sit and reach hamstrings, if desired. Record. Note the measurement and date in your logbook. For example, squat depth, 10 centimeters below parallel, gives 2.20 e 5-09-01. Realistic goal. Visible improvement in 4 to 8 weeks with consistency. Correlate with performance. If you improve ROM without losing strength in your sets, you are on the right track. 7 PNF and other advanced techniques. Yes or no? PNF, contract relax. Effective for gaining ROM faster, but avoid it right before a maximum set. Use it in mobility or post-workout sessions. Foam rolling pre-massage can help the feeling of mobility. It's usually safe before training if brief. Avoid very aggressive foam rolling immediately before a maximum set. If it leaves you feeling switched off, dynamic stretching active, recommended before training instead of static, improves ROM and excitability. 8 contraindications and precautions. Do not use prolonged static stretching if you are going to attempt maximum sets in the following minutes. Acute pain or injury. Do not stretch the injured area without medical consultation. Rehab professional advice. Joint instability. If stretching increases the feeling of instability, prioritize motor control and strength in ROM before long stretching. Hypermobility. Hypermobile individuals should prioritize strength and control before stretching more. 9 practical integration. Example: simple weekly schedule. Monday HD effective set chest plus 6 minute post-stretch chest, pec 60s. Tuesday active rest. Wednesday mobility, 20-minute back shoulder, T-spine. Thursday rest, technical work, shoulder. Technical work. Friday, HD effective set, legs plus hams. Saturday, chronic session, 10-minute global flexibility. Sunday rest, 10. Practical summary. What to do starting today. Do not perform static stretching right before a set where you want to perform at your maximum. Do static stretching after training or in separate sessions. Schedule mobility sessions between your heavy-duty sessions to repair ROM without harming strength. Measure ROM and performance. Let the data guide your changes. If in doubt, prioritize activation and controlled strength work in the new ROM before adding passive stretching. Final takeaway: stretch when you no longer need to perform. Move and activate when you have to perform. Section 9. Practical examples. Voiceover. Example 1. GYM machine press. Short version. On-screen text. You're going to do machine press. 2 minutes of mobility. Light face pulls to activate warm-up. 40% times 8. 75% times 3. And then the set that counts. Don't spend 5 minutes stretching your pecs right before on-screen B. Roll. Show 2-minute mobility. Shoulder circles. 8 band face pulls. Then close-up of warm-up plates. And finish with the effective set. Text mobility 2 gives activation, gives 40% times 8, gives 75% times 3, gives effective set. 5 feet pre-press stretching. Long version voiceover. Before the machine press, do this first. 2 minutes of mobility and raising your temperature. Shoulder rotations and some light rowing. Then 8 light face pulls to activate the scapular area. Due to warm-up sets. 40% for 6 to 8 repetitions and 75% for 3 to 5 repetitions. With that, you arrive prepared for your effective set. Don't spend 5 minutes stretching your pecs right before. That can reduce your strength in the set that really matters. On-screen B-roll, step-by-step sequence, close-ups of hands on the machine, text insert with timings, mini checklist for your notebook, mobility to feet, activation face pulls, 8 reps warm-up 40% times 8, gives 75% times 3 effective set, weight reps, TUT RPE example 2, HOME, dumbbell squats, short version, on-screen text, dumbbell squats, jog for 2 minutes to warm up. Do 8 to 10 hip bridges for activation, 1 warm-up set with light weight, and then your effective set. Avoid statically stretching your quads right before on-screen beer roll, jogging in place, warm-up with dumbbell and the final set at home. Text warm-up gives activation, gives warm-up, gives set. Stretch quads preset long version voiceover at home. The logic is the same. 2 minutes of jogging or gentle jumps to raise your temperature, then 8 to 10 hip bridges to activate the posterior chain. 1 warm-up set with the light dumbbell 50% perceptual times 8, and a second warm-up if you want 75% perceptual times 3. Now, the effective set. Just 1-2 technical failure. Avoid passively stretching your quads right before. That reduces your pushing capacity in the squat. On-screen B-roll, show the progression, alternate wide shot home environment, and close-up feet angles. Tone. Friendly, practical. Demonstrative, mini checklist for your notebook. 2 jog, jumps, hip bridges, 8 to 10 reps warm-up, 150% perceptual times 8, warm-up to 75% perceptual, times 3 optional, effective set, load reps TUT RPE, phrases. Let's look at 2 real examples, one on a machine and one at home. So there are no excuses or confusion. Same principle, activate and warm-up. Don't passively stretch before the set. Filming and editing tips, quick record each step in small clips 102 OS. Facilitates cuts and inserts. Add a fixed text in the corner. Work up 6 to 12 minute. Insert a red caption when showing no to stretching before. Static stretching preset. Music, neutral and energetic. Low volume during technical demonstration to prioritize voice. Useful variations if you use a barbell instead of a machine. Same warm-ups but add an extra warm-up set if the bar is very heavy. If you are at home and can't reach 75% perceptual, use a slower tempo for S eccentric to increase TUT without more weight. If you have real stiffness, do extra dynamic mobility and save static stretching for after or another day. Summary: 2 different environments, 1 same rule. Activate, warm up and save fatigue for the set that counts. If you do it this way, your numbers will go up and your feelings will improve. Section 10. Quick facts, clear answers and concrete actions. Here are direct and actionable answers. What to tell yourself in 30 to 60 S per question, followed by a practical explanation of what to do step by step in each case. 1. What if I have pain or a lot of stiffness? Quick answer first. Rule out acute pain injury. If it's just stiffness, do activation plus dynamic mobility first. If the stiffness is chronic, schedule separate mobility sessions and do not statically stretch right before the set. What to do right now steps. Acute pain, stabbing, popping, loss of function. Stop the session and consult a health professional. Do not continue. Stiffness without acute pain. 1 to 2 minutes of dynamic mobility, leg swings, thoracic rotations, shoulder circles. 1 set of activation for the pattern, 610 reps, low load. Progressive workup, 40%, gives 70%. If you're still limited after this, do not force it. Note it down and schedule 1-3 mobility sessions on separate days. Chronic stiffness. Add 10 to 20 minutes of mobility or controlled stretching on non-training days. Incorporate eccentric isometric control work in the new ROM, and consider consulting a physio if it doesn't subside in 2 to 4 weeks. Concrete example. Shoulder stiffness during press gives 2-minute shoulder mobility plus 8 face pulls plus 40% times 8 gives if still limited. Don't do the set to failure. Do technique sets not to failure and plan to mobility sessions during the week. To what about dynamic stretching? Quick answer. Dynamic stretching controlled movements through the range is usually safe and recommended as part of the warm-up. It is preferable to static stretching before an intense set. How to use it: practical duration. 3290s total per pattern, for example, 8 to 12 swings per leg. Examples: leg swings, front tube /side to side, walking lunges with rotation, progressive arm circles, thoracic rotations. Goal: move the joint through the ROM you will use, activate the pattern, and raise temperature without switching off excitability. When not to use it: if a dynamic movement causes acute pain or instability, in that case, substitute with assisted mobility and seek professional help. 3. How long should I avoid stretching? Quick answer: avoid prolonged static stretches of 30-60s per muscle group immediately before a maximum set. Practical details: very short stretches less than approximately 20-30s per position generally have a minimal effect, but the conservative recommendation is not to use them as a preset routine. If you did static stretching by mistake, perform the reactivation protocol, dynamic mobility plus activation plus workup before your set. Pocket rule: if you are going to attempt maximum strength in the next few minutes, do not statically stretch 30s per muscle. Other useful questions: quick and actionable answers for what if I need to improve ROM because I can't achieve the technique. Prioritize separate mobility sessions 2030 min or post-workout stretching. Incorporate PNF or stretching plus activation in mobility sessions, not preset. While improving ROM, use mechanical variations machine, different grip, to maintain intensity without putting technique at risk. 5. How do I know if stretching affects me personally? N equals 1. Due to compared sessions. Week A with static stretching preset, week B with workup without stretching. Record: reps, tut, RPE. If week B gives better numbers or lower RPE, avoid preset stretching. 6. What to do if I feel looser after stretching but perform worse? Even if the feeling is better, trust the data: reps 2 tut RPE. If performance is worse, switch to dynamic mobility and post-workout stretching. Feeling does not equal performance. The logbook rules. Quick mini protocols to have in your logbook. If you have stiffness before training: 01 OMIN, 2-minute dynamic mobility, activation 1 8 to 10 band or lightweight, warm-up 40% times 6 to 8 gives 70% times 3 to 5. Test 1 rep. If okay, gives effective set. If not, gives postpone and do a mobility session that day. If you already did static stretching by mistake, dynamic mobility 1 to 2 minute, activation 6 to 8 reps, warm-up 40 gives 70%. If still low, wait 3 to 5 minute and repeat 70% 1 to 2 before deciding. Red flags: see a professional if ... closing parenthesis, sharp pain or marked loss of strength after stretching. Chronic stiffness that does not improve with 2 to 4 weeks of mobility. Joint instability or a feeling of giving way in the joint. Summary: before performing move gives activate, gives warm-up to improve ROM. Stretch when you don't have to perform post-workout or on separate days. Trust your data. If your reps drop after stretching, change it. Final message for your logbook: main version to paste. Warm up just enough, activate what's necessary, and save. Fatigue for the set that counts. Short variants identical for stickers, headers. Warm up just enough, activate what's necessary, save fatigue. Activate gives warm-up, gives execute. Don't waste strength, mobility, activation, set that counts. Explanatory line 1 to 2 sentences. For below the message: prepare the body, raise temperature and switch on the pattern. Don't waste power on passive stretches or fatiguing warm-ups. Save your energy for the only set that matters. Suggested design for an A6 card or sticker ready to copy-paste for printing size: A6 105-148 mm. Typography: headline equals Montserrat bold 22 to 28 pt. Body equals interregular 12 to 14 pt. Layout: top small line gray. Practical rule: center large, bold. Warm up just enough, activate what's necessary, and save fatigue for the set that countervate what's need for. Get form: warm up, warp up, smock pluck, clock pluck, plop cack, clup clot, clop block, clop pluck, clock. Clop plack pluck clucks clikes white claw plack clock clack claw clower plack lock why claw walk pluck quilla the walk will plum what wolf plot will all will so will up whip will have will all off that out up water da bakawa Orange accent for the word save. Mini checklist for the same page in your logbook. Mobility 2 to 4 minute activation, 1 to 3 minute warm up, 40% gives 70% effective set. Load reps tut RPE general conclusion. Chapter 15. Stretching before training could be weakening you. 1. What was learned? 5 key ideas. Performance is king. The effective set requires maximum neuromuscular excitability and intact technique. Any practice that reduces this, for example, prolonged static stretching right before, costs you repetitions or kilos. Static does not equal warm-up. Prolonged passive stretching 30 to 60 S group momentarily decreases strength torque. It is not a warm-up. It is a tool for flexibility, post-workout or in separate sessions. Before the set, you activate, not loosen. Dynamic mobility, specific activation, and progressive warm-up sets work up. Prepare the pattern without switching off the system. Heavy duty in context. True to brief, infrequent, and intense. Everything before the set should be the minimum effective to perform better in one single quality set. The logbook decides. If after changing the protocol your reps tut increase or your RPE decreases with the same load, you are on the right track. To what to apply starting today, step by step before each effective set. Dynamic mobility 2 to 4 minute, not passive. Brisk marching, gentle jumps, shoulder circles, thoracic rotations. Activation 1 to 3 minute of the pattern 610 reps with a band or light load. Face pulls before a press, glute bridges before a squat. Light rows before pull downs. Progressive warm-up sets. Approximately 40 to 50% of working weight times 6 to 8 reps. 70 to 75% times 3 to 5 reps. Optional 85% times 1 to 2 if the load is heavy or you need technical confidence. Never to failure in the warm-up sets. Effective set. 1 set to technical failure with controlled cadence, for example. 3S down, 1S up. Immediate record. Load reps, tut RPE notes, joint sensation, ROM, any discomfort. After training or on separate days, static stretching 30 to 60 S position, 1, 2, 3 rounds, 5 to 15 min total, for flexibility recovery, not for warming up. 3 mistakes you must avoid: doing prolonged passive stretching right before the set that counts, doing too many warm-up sets, hidden fatigue, chasing the feeling of being loose and sacrificing performance, omitting the record without data. You won't know if the change helps you. For signs you're on the right track: in 7 to 14 days, with the same load you do plus 1 rep or 510 S of tut. With the same output reps tut, your RPE drops 0.5 to 1 point. You feel better control in the target ROM without a power outage. Reasonable DOMs that subsides in 24 to 72H without limiting preset stiffness. 5 application by context quick list: gym. Machine press, bench press 2 feet. Shoulder mobility gives 8 face pulls, gives 40% times 8, gives 75% times 3, gives effective set. Number 5 feet of passive chest stretching before. Gym squat, leg press 2 feet. Easy bike gives 10 glute. Bridges gives 40% times 8, gives 75% times 3, gives effective set. Avoid quad hamstring stretching preset. Home. Dumbbells. Bands to jogging in place, gives band activation 8 to 10. Gives 50% to perceptor 8, gives 75% times 3, gives effective set. If you can't reach intensity, lengthen the eccentric 4 to 5S or use light rest pause 1015S plus 1 to 3 reps. 6. If you have stiffness or are tight in your ROM before, only dynamic plus activation plus workup after or on separate days. 10 to 20 min of mobility. Static work on limiting factors. Real progress. Test ROM every 2 to 4 weeks. Squat depth, wall slide, lot hang, without sacrificing reps. Keep 7-day microplan. Immediate implementation. Day 0 HD session. Activation and warm-up protocol gives effective set, gives 6 to 10 minute post-workout stretches. Day 1 to 2, active rest. Light mobility, no prolonged static, if training strength tomorrow. Day 3, dedicated mobility. Flexibility session 20 to 30 minute plus control in new ROM. Day 4 to 6, repeat pattern according to muscle group HD plan. Day 7 plus, review logbook reps, tut RPE. If you don't improve in 2 to 3 sessions, adjust. Fewer warm-ups, better activation. Technique. 8 final mantra to remember when training. Warm up just enough, activate what's necessary, and save fatigue for the set that counts. True to Mentzer's framework, intense, brief, and infrequent. The goal is not to feel looser but to perform better in that single set which produces the stimulus. If you respect the order opening parenthesis move dash activate dash warm dash up dash execute closing parenthesis and measure it in your logbook, you will see the effect where it matters. More quality repetitions, better tut, and sustainable progress. Thanks for watching and making it to this point in the video. We'll see you in the next chapter analyzing many more things left by the great Mike Mentzer to study. Share, give it a big like and subscribe. Support me in this warrior iron content. Greetings and strong hugs. See you next time.